I made tons and tons and tons of shitty work before I really kind of started finding myself and finding my groove with the whole process. And my point of inspiration was in fact, East Vancouver, specifically the downtown east side alleyways. My interest in that really flooded everything that I was doing with music, with writing, and with painting. And I completely and utterly dedicated myself to my craft. It was every day, it was all day. The only job that I had was working at an art supply store on Granville Island, and I lived and breathed everything that I was doing. Then I got to the point where I was with a gallery that I'm still with to this day, the Douglas Udell Gallery, and I started doing some group shows, and I had the most unbelievable night of my life where I had my first solo show, and I had a completely sellout show. I felt proud of myself. I was like, it really felt like this incredible achievement, and I, had my own personal recognition that I could really make it as an artist. It was incredible because as my art career was growing, my side project, which was like this fun kind of art party that we were throwing, it became an animal unto itself, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The Cheaper show is really inspired by this notion of how do you gain some success in the art world, where our counterintuitive approach to the entire thing, I think, is really beneficial to a lot of people. To me, there was way more power having a piece of art on somebody else's wall as opposed to sitting in your studio unsold, collecting dust, for years and years and years. So it wasn't necessarily about giving your art away, but finding a fitting price point to attach to your work in the very beginning, just to ensure that you've got like 10 or 15 pieces out there every single year, just so you start building a client base. Now, I think the problem that a lot of people have is there's usually a huge sense of like, ego attached to your work, as you should. You should feel very strong and proud of the work that you're doing, but a lot of people like outprice themselves right out of the gate, and they're wondering why their 3 foot by 4 foot $15,000 painting is sitting there still. Some people, they just happen to catch like a hot run, and boom, they sell $150,000 of work when they're a fresh graduate out of Emily Carr. Those stories are so seldom. For your average person, I think it's really about having that side of it where you're really just being very practical about everything, and you're starting to like reach out and build a client base slowly but surely over the years. I think that there's a market for everyone. Every house on earth deserves to have some great artwork in it, as opposed to a print that they got from like IKEA or something like that. Hello, my name is Graeme Berglund, and I'm an artist, I'm an administrator, and I am a council member representing arts and culture in Vancouver. Art has a responsibility to be whatever the hell comes out of somebody.